So how do we start to figure out and uncover what we want? I think that this is a valuable kind of like turn in this conversation. Like, how do you work with your clients, Coach Whitney? To uncover like what do you want? Start off with the small things, move up to the big things. How do you advise your clients?
So again, we function in 5 aspects of life. So it's our families, it's in our fitness, it's in our finances, our faith, and fun. And when I'm able to break things apart like that and put them in buckets, so say, it made it a lot easier for me to decide, okay, what do I actually think is fun? And what are some things that I want to do in my life that doesn't have to be yet another thing on my to-do list, but something that I actually want to drive toward. And when I do that inside of my family, I get the same. And listen, it can be something small. Like, again, I have 5 kids, so it's like I want to share my time. So I want to do different dates with my kids. That's what I want right now. I want to be very meaningful in with my husband. I don't want it to just be in passing that we're having a relationship. I want to have a marriage that's on purpose, right? So what do I want inside of that? When I can start to break things apart like that, that's when I see the light bulb moments with my clients of saying, okay, yes, this is what I want. And it's important to say what you don't want. Like, what's working in your finances, what's not working, what do you want to keep and what do you want to change? And when you can see both sides of that, that's when you can start making decisions that you can start driving toward.
All right, that's good. That's really good. And a lot, just like you said, sometimes we may not know exactly what we want, but we know what we don't want. Here's what I don't like. Here's what doesn't work for me. And that almost like takes it like from everything that's a possibility, and it starts to narrow it down so that you can then decide, okay, this is what I want. And I also think it's really valuable for us to share with the audience that, sometimes moving towards something that you think you like, and this might be something really interesting, something fun and new to try, and then you're moving towards it and trying it. It's just like, I don't like this. I mean, you still have a choice. You get to decide. I don't have to continue working to the end of this goal because I already know that I don't enjoy this, and then I can try something else. Do you see a lot of that also?
Oh gosh, I in myself, like toward the end of this past year, I was like, I felt like I was drowning. Like I was barely keeping my nose above water. And that's when I went back to, I call them targets in each area. And I was like, okay, nothing is making me excited. I'm not driving toward anything that I supposedly wanted to do a couple of months ago. And so I shifted. I decided, okay, this is not working for me. And I think oftentimes, I mean, I don't know if you've ever done this, but you've picked up a book and the book you start reading and the book is really boring, but then you just keep reading it and it was awful. And you're like, gosh, why did I even read that book? I think sometimes we go through life like this. Well, I have to finish this. And that's not true. And when I shifted into, okay, well, what do I want right now? Because I think oftentimes we don't give ourselves credit for either growing or just changing our minds. And I want to be very careful with this because I also don't want someone to think that, hey, like I've chosen to, let's say in fitness, to run a marathon and now I have to go and run 10 miles today and I don't really feel like it, so I'm going to give up on that. That's different. Like, you're going to want to drive toward things that are hard and get uncomfortable because that's the growth that we see. And also when you see that you just want to pull the covers over your head and not do anything, that, hey, it's time for a shift.